Okay, so today's video we have some interesting tests to do. This isn't supposed to prove anything scientifically. This is just a simple backyard test for an old grill I'm getting rid of. Stainless steel charbroil. It was a nice grill at one point, but everything's rusted out now. And it's cheaper to buy a brand new grill than to fix the parts that are rusted and won't work. So we are going to shoot it up today. Stainless steel, not very thick. I'm trying to equate this to a vehicle, probably about the same thickness. So that's the baseline I'm going for. And the target is a little right below this sticker here. And we have a rack of ribs, an old rack of ribs from 2013 that I found in the bottom of a freezer. So these doors here, they look like they're thick, but that's actually hollow. So this should give us a good baseline. And we'll be testing 9mm full metal jacket, Spear Gold Dot hollow point, and 5.56 and 223 out of the Bushmaster 16-inch barrel. I'm not going to have the specs on every single round. I actually have, I think, one or two rounds that I can't remember what the brand name is, but I'll give you an idea of what the round is. Okay, see you guys in a little bit. I think 3.5 and under inch pistols. So the second test will be the Federal aluminum case. I might take one more shot with the Spear Gold Dot just to see what it does when it hits the meat. Yeah, actually, let me do that first, and then the following shots will be Federal aluminum full metal jacket. Spear Gold Dot. Spear Gold Dot's going in first. Then following shots will be Federal aluminum case. I just flagged my hand. It will. First two Spear Gold Dots. I'm going to try to aim higher for the FMJ so we have a different, we can tell which one hit the meat. Just trying to jump through this so I don't make this a long video. Not worried about too much of accuracy right now. Okay. Cleared firearm. Let's check it out, see what happened. Okay, again, these first shots were at an angle. I wasn't sure what was going to happen. These last ones were straight on. So, yeah, we had one pierce the eye of the tire. I think that was the full metal jacket. And another full metal here. And then these two here were the Spear Gold Dots. Okay, this meat now is still a little bit frozen. I kind of wanted, you can't really simulate live tissue with dead room temperature tissue or outside temperature tissue. So I froze it a little bit. Spear Gold Dots had some pretty impressive tissue damage of frozen meat. These are ribs too, so they have the bone in them. Let me see if I can get this out in the light. That might be a little bit better for the camera. Getting some glare, so I really can't tell if you guys can see this or not. Let's see the reverse side here. This is the back side. Spear Gold Dot down that corner, one here, and one up here. This is from the first shots from the side, and these are the following two shots. Some pretty good damage. Spilled right through there. That was actually, this shot here was right on a bone. Went right through that, no problem. And we had penetration right through the back. So good to go for using those Spirit Gold dots on vehicles. Shouldn't have an issue at all. This top one here, yeah, these top two here are the Full Metal Jacket. Just simple through and through. Not really too big of an exit hole up top there. So pretty much a 9mm size hole on both sides. No real tumbling on the Full Metal Jackets. Some keyholing on the Spirit Gold dots, or that could be mushrooming from the expansion. Again, this isn't nothing to prove anything. This is just to see what happens. That's all. Alright, next up is 556 and 223. First up on the 556, we are going to have a Federal 55 grain XM193. I'm not sure on the specs on that. I'm guessing around 3200 FPS muzzle. That's just a guess. Like I said, I just did this quickly. And then the second shot's going to be followed by a standard NATO 62 grain M855 muzzle, 3100 feet per second, and muzzle energy of 1323. So that's going to be the first two shots back to back. And then last, I have a mystery round. That's a green tip there. It is a looks like a varmint round, 223 with a polymer tip. There it is, right here. Very sharp polymer tip. I'm not sure on the weight on that. I'm guessing 55. The marking is 223 REM FC14, if anybody knows what that is. There is the round. Hopefully that's focusing. And then I have a Full Metal Jacket 223 as well on the second round of testing. That is just PMC 55 grain with a muzzle of 1250 foot-pounds. There's the Full Metal Jacket 55 grain. So these will be back-to-back on the second shot, not on this duration. First duration is a regular Full Metal Jacket Federal 55 XM193, and then the second shot will be the NATO green tip XM85 or XM855. All right. Weapon clear. Let's get a good look before we do the second iteration. So your first hole on the right, just to get an idea before I open it up, this was the Federal 55 grain, and this is XM193, and this is the M855 green tip on the left here. Tissue destruction. That's the difference between pistol and rifle right there. Holy shit. Here you can see this meat's, it's starting to warm up, but it's still frozen. It's still a little bit solid. Here you could see the tissue destruction. One on the right was the lighter XM193, and the one on the left is the 855 grain tip. See the reverse. Looks like we had a keyhole tumble already on the inside. Probably hit bone. Let me finger this real quick. Yeah, XM85 went through the thickest part of the rib. The first one actually just hit flesh, it missed bone. So now the one on the right is the green tip, and the one on the left is the XM193 Full Metal Jacket. Still not the best at for destroying tissue, in my opinion. I like the 55 grain faster moving lighter bullet for just tissue, but if you're going to be penetrating cars, you definitely want at least a the 855. And look in the back there, you see the one keyhole. That's probably the, if I can line that up. Yeah, the one that keyholed was the, was actually the, let me see. Yeah, okay. It was the 855 actually. And the one on the right, it looked like it fragmented. You have a few fragmentation holes. That was the layer full metal jacket. Here we go back here. I'm going to try to get some better lighting. Okay. Here is the X55 exit hole. After going through solid bone and tissue, first a stainless steel. Oh, don't get that. This isn't aluminum. This is stainless steel on both sides. So it's going through 2 panels of stainless steel, hitting frozen ribs, busting through the bone, and then coming out another panel, very thin panel. That's like you're lucky if it's a 16th. There, that should give you a decent idea of how thick that both sides are. And it really doesn't, in combat when we would use this round, it sucked at penetrating things like even mud huts. It didn't want to penetrate. It wasn't really designed to do that. And I would prefer to have had a 308 over there, but you use what you had. So it didn't do a bad job overall. It's definitely not going to stop a vehicle if you're trying to disable the vehicle, unless you get a lucky shot somewhere. So you're better off aiming for the driver and then trying to go for an engine block hit. This was the 55 grain XM193. It fragmented and it may have tumbled, but it just hit tissue when it hit the ribs. It didn't hit any bone. So it could have started to fragment on the first panel, but I'm not sure on that. Like I said, this is just for fun, basically, just to see what happens. Alright, next up is the polymer tip and the both 223 rounds. Those first 2 rounds were both 5.56. This next iteration will be 223. Okay, next iteration will be PMC bronze, 55 grain, full metal jacket, 223. Or this will be the second shot. First shot is this unknown 223 with a polymer tip. So we'll see. We'll probably get about the same results, but I'm interested to see what difference 223 does and the polymer tip. First shot polymer, second one full metal jacket, 223. Okay, let's see what we got here. Looks like we got one hit in the middle of the nose of the tiger and one over here. This was the first shot, this was the second one. So polymer tip, full metal jacket. Looks like one hit the, wow. Holy Toledo. Yeah, I could see why that first round, that's not just from one round, that's both of them hitting, but that first one, the polymer tip is what did most of the destruction. And the second one probably hit what was hanging off and broke my zip tie. So that's a lot of energy that was coming through there to break a zip tie. It didn't rip through the plastic, it actually broke the zip tie from the force. Wow, yeah. Holy crap. Yeah, you can see why I like the lighter rounds for tissue destruction there. That should demonstrate pretty well. Oh, it looks like we have some grill pieces inside the meat, actually. Yeah, look at that. Yeah, it just completely disrupted that tissue there. It is chewed up and gone. Yeah, I know what round I'm choosing for self-defense. Again, this is not, there's way too many variables to say without a doubt which round would do what to a live human, but this is just kind of getting a idea. Especially with the heat, thawing out, uh, barrel lengths, I mean, who's to say? It's not live tissue. Let's get around back. Whoa. Yeah, look at that. That's the first round that actually splattered the meat there on the door. And through the back, yeah, we definitely have fragmentation on that polymer round. I don't know if you could pick up the dents. They didn't penetrate through on the last one. The main body, the lead body, probably is what made this hole, and this is all the fragmentation of that the jacket around there, the hollow jacket. Yeah, I like that. That works good. All right, guys, this was just a just to see what would happen video. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you guys in the next video.